So then she's like, you can't put that there. And I was like, I'll put it
Hello.
anywhere I want. You just say that out loud. It's fine. And
You're
so
gonna
then I
put
just went ahead
what?
and
Where?
parked the car
What?
there and it was fine.
Hello, folks. Welcome, welcome to Flannel Panel. We have the ultimate guest. I'd say the ultimate guest today. The Natalie. The
Accurate.
Natalie.
Oh,
We have arrived.
thank you.
Yeah, we
Accurate.
have arrived. We have a celebrity on hand, a bourbon celebrity. Dare we call you? I think so.
Yeah, I guess you could do it.
We can
You
call
were
you
pretty
that.
famous last week, Natalie. I saw your picture showing up in other people's social media feed.
Mhm.
Like
Really?
they were like, you were the rub, where they were like, listen, I don't know if you think that I'm a big deal, but look who I'm standing next to. So they knew that they were a big deal because you were in the room.
That's true.
You're very funny. Infamous more than famous.
Take it.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, we have Natalie here. She was just at the Bourbon Women's SIPosium. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Awesome. So they had a pretty big deal in Kentucky last weekend, and she's also gonna try and teach us how to drink.
I don't
do
think
you know how to drink?
need instruction on that, really. But
Well, did you see the stream last week? Because Troy did
he
something
was
last
killing
week.
it. Oh, my
Well, yeah, it's not that I don't know how to drink. It's I don't know when to start drinking.
Oh,
And worse yet, when to stop drinking.
He was possessed by the spirits.
gotcha.
You were
That was a
looking
fun-
for boundaries, is what you were looking for, not
I
tasting.
need supervision.
Okay.
Supervision.
And peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Yes,
Hi,
that would
James.
also do it. James is here, and Kim, I believe.
Kim.
Hey, Kim
See,
Schwartz.
already famous. Hey Kim,
There you go.
subscribe, please.
Yeah, we'll take all the subscribers that Nat can scrounge up for us. That'd be awesome. Yeah, Kim, nice to see you. I think she was your one of your hangout partners
Oh,
last
totally.
weekend too.
Yeah. She was so sweet. She introduced me to a good friend of hers named Cheryl from Connecticut, and we christened the baby's head that first night. We went.
Is that code?
Whoa,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll run that back. Please
This
hold.
is the flannel panel. After all.
Right, we drank a lot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
right.
it's an excuse to get drunk. Anyway,
Oh.
so let's see, Kim, maybe you can text the places that we went to. We went to one place that was like a speakeasy for drinks, and then another place for dinner. I felt so grown up, like adulting, hashtag. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then I got started way early. Hey, Michelle. I got started early on buying the single barrel picks. So both places we went had single barrel picks.
That's great.
And so that was like,
Love it. Keep it up. Subscribe as many times as you can.
Now, living in Utah, I mean, Kansas kind of the same thing. Isn't it wild? You feel like you're getting away with something when you leave a bar with a full bottle of alcohol, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, like they had these little flimsy little bags that had a little flimsy tape on the top, as if that was going to stop you from drinking it. But yeah, I was born in New Orleans, so you have a cup to carry with you.
Yeah, literally, when you crown the baby, they just hand them a cup, and they're like, "Here you go, and here's your beads, and get out."
That's right, exactly.
So tell me a little bit about how how this event all came about. Like, I know that obviously there's been a cool start for women in bourbon, and it's become a bigger and bigger thing. And like you had the Whiskey Weekend, you hosted an event, a brunch event specifically, but like this seemed incredibly over the top. And by the way, you can tell that it was planned by women that know what they're doing because it looked really well organized and put together.
Organized. I took so many notes and pictures. I'm like, oh my gosh, we need to copy. Anyway, but yeah, so this was the 9th annual SIPosium by Bourbon Women, who was started by Peggy No Stevens and Susan Rieger. And you think, well, this is an excuse for women who like to drink bourbon to get together, but it was so much more than that. They had scholarships. They gave away like 8 different scholarships for women of diversity to take, advanced courses and degrees in areas that would put them in the bourbon industry. They promote craft distilleries, women-owned distilleries, women in the different, areas like blending and distilling and all areas. I would say probably 60 to 70% of the attendees, of which I think there were around 400, were in the bourbon industry. And then the rest were just, bourbon nerds like me, but it was great. Everybody was just so friendly. They came from all over the country, and, you sat down next to somebody and get to know them and then exchange contact info. And, I have a bunch of new friends.
But that's like, so for dudes, Nat, like that's invited to be sit in the dugout during a Major League Baseball game is what this sounds like, right? Where you're just like, oh,
Yeah.
and there's, it's just that's pretty crazy.
But, and everybody there, none of them have a chip on their shoulder. They were just all so, genial and friendly and down to earth, and, a real sense of community and belonging. There was none of this like, oh, well, I'm going to keep you at arm's length. It was just
testosterone is the word you're looking for,
right? No competition, in other words. That there's room at the table for everybody.
Yeah, there's no swing in it, is what you're saying.
Right, exactly. Don't pull out the measuring tape, at all. So, however,
how many people attended? It was a bunch.
Yeah, I would say between 300 and 400 people.
Oh wow!
And it was at the Hyatt in Louisville, and I bought the extra tickets to be there the day early and the day later, so I got there on Wednesday night, and then Kim and Cheryl and I kind of hit it hard, but then the next day we went to Moonshine U for the certified bourbon steward class, which was really fun. And and then on the back end, on Sunday, I was able to go to the Log Still Distillery, and which is a brand new distillery that's the Dant. Some of the Dant family has picked back up the, what's it called, the number that's the license for a distillery.
GSP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have number 15 or something. Like it's like a really
real low number. Yeah, that's cool.
That's
so I was able to have dinner at Peggy No Stevens' house.
Wow.
Like, it's like, I feel the vapors. It was so it was just thrilling. And again, everybody there was so nice. Like I said, people from the industry, people from Louisville, her personal friends that she's known forever. And she is just hospitality personified. She is just, can't say enough about her. Again, so down to earth. When I showed up at the hotel at the counter to check in, she was over there talking to somebody, and I wanted to go up and introduce myself. And so I was like, hi there, Miss Peggy. That's what you do in the South. You say Miss first name. Anyway, hi, Miss Peggy. I'm Natalie Hernan. And she comes up to me like this, hug, bring it in. I was like, oh, but I'm just meeting you from the first time. And she's like, that's okay. I mean, she's just so nice, and So, and then they had classes that you could take during the day. So Ashley Barnes and Monica Wolf, who are a part of a consulting company that they started, they helped Ashley Donahue and Two Worlds Whiskey get off the ground, and they helped do that blend. I went to a blending class that Ashley Barnes taught, and that was really cool.
That's cool.
So yeah, it was so much stuff to do. Hey, yes, she was there with me at the Bourbon Women weekend, so got to meet
awesome.
Fun people.
We got some people in the chat. Tommy D's got some shady internet, so he'll be checking it out tomorrow. So anybody that misses out, please watch again and see Nat's recap. Ty's busy doing some stuff this week, but he's chirping Troy as well, and Clint's here as well. So good turnout for the Nat recap. So Peggy No's house dinner.
Yep. I need to know what this house looked like.
A house look like, or the dinner. Like,
So lovely.
Yeah.
So I did take a picture of the menu, but it was just, great, beautiful, wonderful. First of all, Jason might be joining us later, but he's a little bit running behind today. But, again, if you wanted a course in how to put on a party or to have hospitality for people, this is it. She greeted you at the door with a drink, like outside before you even walked in the front door.
Wow.
There's a tray of drinks for you to have.
And what was the drink? Do you remember?
I want to say it was like a bourbon type mojito. It had a mint leaf in it. Oh, it might have been a julep. Anyway, I think it was a julep. And then you walk in and she said, you go anywhere in the house you want, whatever you want to do is fine. Just don't open any closets. And, so her whole house was open. You could see her family portraits and things like that. And then she had people serving heavy hors d'oeuvres. And then there was a bar in the backyard in her yard with people that made, one of the drinks was really cool. It was called a Black Manhattan. And it was, instead of using vermouth, sweet vermouth, it used Amaro. So that Italian liqueur that's like an aperitif, it's an after dinner herbal drink. It's kind of like Jägermeister, bougie Jägermeister. So it was like, so it's a very herbal, added to the bourbon, but that was really neat.
So, first of all, I need to write down bougie Jägermeister as a description for anything, which was awesome. So, at what point did the whole event just become overwhelming? Or was it just something where, are you able to soak in that much information all at one time? Or when you got home, was it more like, okay, I need to go back now and personally download all the things that I did?
Right. So I want more. I always want more. We were going all the time. Ha ha ha.
Where is Ty? Ty missed that in the chat.
But it was, chock full of experiences and opportunities to get together. I tried to stay hydrated and I tried not to stay out too late every night. So I think that was a pro tip, but
you say tried to stay. Was it successful or?
Well, the last night, Saturday night, I stayed up with Kim and Cheryl and we did a bottle kill and, Lord of mercy. Yeah. So that was a lot of fun.
That's so you guys pulled a Troy that night.
Right.
Yeah, buddy.
I wanted to say I was following along with some of your antics and I was very proud of your behavior down there. I think you represented us well.
You got the T's stamp of approval on that one.
Yeah. I deep throated a bottle of 4-gate. That's okay.
Whoa. Okay.
Okay. That's the first time on this show we ever talked about that.
It was empty.
Well.
Sure if that makes it better or worse.
Yes, it was awesome, Kenny.
It definitely sounds like it was a heck of a time.
Yeah.
And Vincent's here with us. Oh.
So not to go full art nerd on you, but Mrs. Carter does some pretty just incredible, I would guess you'd call it equestrian art, but it's all paintings of horses, which is also the label of the old Carter bottle it's like a stamp from a hand carved piece that is done backwards and stamped, which was awesome. But they've kind of opened up almost like a full art studio upstairs now?
Right. So, you got to go to Old Carter with
Jamie and Justin. We were a little drunk that morning.
You're right.
When we arrived.
Sure. During Whiskey Weekend, but I was really lucky to be able to do that. And we got to see the wood carving that she did, and she passed that around. And the art studio, so on the second level above the main entrance, there's the social club, the Old Carter Social Club, which is kind of cool. There are lockers that you can be a member, and if you pay a certain amount every month, and whenever they have a new release, they'll put one in your locker, but you have to come pick it up within like 3 months. So that's kind of a cool thing. But then next door, they're trying to renovate another part of that building. And on the second floor, it's just amazing. She's got all these gorgeous, enormous paintings of horses all around on easels. And we were really fortunate to be able to go up there and see all that too. She was really, again, open-hearted and,
Yeah, they're super generous. That's for sure.
Amazing. And we got a couple comments. The swag was so sweet. And the bottle shares in the lobby were fun. Can't wait for
Oh, totally. Well, yeah. So I was on the 14th floor, and every night I was awakened by giggling and laughing and raucous laughter from the lobby 14 floors down. So the last night they gave us a room to be in. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, you sound
Yeah.
great.
Oh yeah, sound good.
Trying to corral
100%.
it. Like they were just trying to be like,
Yeah, they were
so
trying
that
to
was their-
corral everybody.
Yeah,
It was kind of funny.
and
I mean,
I'm sure that was successful.
Right. Well, and it was funny, coming from Whiskey Weekend with all these male voices, hearing women being raucous and loud. It was awesome.
Well, I don't think we really got raucous at Whiskey Weekend though.
Uh-huh.
No, not at all.
Right. I remember a goat at some point. No.
That was
Not
that,
last year.
Was that real? Was the goat real?
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Oh yeah. So what was the most memorable pour for
Yes.
you? And by pour we mean beverage or drink or whiskey. What do you think?
Yeah. Well, we went to Old Forester and took the tour there. And George's Bar at Old Forester, you can get a pour of birthday bourbon.
Awesome.
So, so that was really amazing. Let's see.
I think I saw a picture of that. That was an older one too,
Uh-huh,
wasn't it?
09.
An 09.
Yes.
Wow.
I was kind of stealthy and I got in the corner and I had a flask. I was like, so I took a little sip and then I brought the rest home.
Nice.
That's nice of you. They make
So-
some pretty smoking drinks at that bar too. That George's Bar there at Old Forester. That was pretty unique. I think when we were there last time, it was still closed during COVID. Like the tours hadn't gone out, but they hadn't opened up the bar yet. That's cool that's back open.
Yeah, it was great. Let me think. What else? Goodness. The Foregate I thought was amazing. We got to try Hidden Barn Batch 2 before it was released, like a couple days before it was
cool.
released, which was nice, which was really good. I'm trying to think. So one thing that was different is that these women don't know about the idea of a bottle share. So I might need to introduce that concept next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
If
so
you need me to come and kick it
Yeah,
off,
I mean, they could chaperone. I think,
Make an
right?
impression.
Yeah.
yeah, I like making
We
new
could-
friends.
Oh, it could be sponsored by the Flannel panel.
Hey now.
We would just be available to help pour
That's a
drinks
great
or
idea.
just restack bottles neatly on the table.
By
Exactly.
sponsored, you mean we're the help? Like
Yes,
we'll
right.
pour.
Yeah, not
Yes, okay.
financially, no.
Yeah, be careful.
You
Be
know.
careful with that.
Yeah, it's an in kind trade.
I'll work. I'll work as much as you need. But yes,
But we have no money.
Right,
that's
right.
basically what I'm getting at. Yeah. That's awesome. So
I don't-
the go ahead, Troy.
I'm sorry, I don't want to be stupid or rude, but I'm going to just ask for Corey so Corey doesn't have to. How was Jackie? Was she? I saw you got a picture. Did you get to talk
Married
to her
now,
any?
off the market.
Yeah.
For
Well, she
now.
can still be a nice lady.
Yeah,
And she's in Colorado, so that's a little closer for
True.
Corey.
Michelle
yeah.
says
I've technically been off the market the whole time too, so it's it's fine. It's probably better this way.
we'll be the poor boys.
That's
Yeah.
Because
Michelle for the win. So
and Eric's here, and he is not wrong.
well,
Especially if Tease is jumping in on
That's
those
right.
bottles.
Here's Jason. He's
allegedly,
about to get on here.
Janu.
Jason.
So that had to be pretty unique, though. That since they just launched bottle 1 and now being able to taste bottle 2 before it shows
Mm-hmm.
up.
Well, and every event was sponsored by a whiskey brand.
Mm.
So we had tons of pours. Like we started at 8 a.m. with breakfast, and they not only have shots, but they have cocktails at every meal, that were free of charge. And you go over there and have a taste. And then tables out in the lobby from other distilleries, more craft distilleries, kind of getting your feedback. In fact, there was one lunch, I think it was, that there were 3 craft distilleries in the lobby, and they had a feedback form, and they wanted you to give notes on what you were tasting, which is kind of interesting. Yeah, that was kind of awesome.
Did you do that?
I tasted them.
The feedback form is such a cool idea, especially if it's anonymous, just to see what you get with a respectable group at that point. Because I think that'd be really neat to see the results, and take that to a whiskey weekend crowd. It might get a little offside.
Yeah,
Pictures.
Some people will try to be creative with their answers.
Yeah, pictures will be drawn and so forth. But yeah,
pictures.
but I think with a classy event like that, that would be a really great opportunity for them to get really good feedback.
There is a word that I learned that I had not previously been exposed to, which made me kind of nervous. Feint, like FEINT.
Oh,
like fake.
Well,
Fainted.
It was like an aroma or a.
Oh,
really? Like a smell? Oh,
interesting. So,
thank you.
There you go. We always had a feint was like a fake. So this is like a smell word.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and it usually has to do with things that are musty.
Interesting.
Like
musty smell.
Faintly of mothballs, or
that's what I call dank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all are not taking the bait here. I see. I just need to move on. But anyway, it reminded me of another word starting with
taint.
Right. Yeah.
I was trying to be classy.
I didn't know how far we should go with this.
We're trying to be on our best behavior, Dad.
Oh, damn! Don't be boring.
Don't be boring. This is great.
Trying to be sophisticated.
Oh, okay.
That was said like you don't believe that.
Hold up.
Well, the try is the important part of that sentence. I might splurge for a suite next year for boys in flannel and speedos pouring out of all chair.
Flannel, yes.
I'll do the flannel. You can do the speedo.
Yeah.
You misspelled pants or jeans or cargo shorts.
I mean, if it gets an invite.
Oh, also yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Troy, better buckle
I mean, I had to work my way through college, so it was similar to that.
Yeah, even with the 10 grand, I'm still going to have outstanding
of
student loans. So let's go.
I'm getting this image of Saturday Night Live Chippendale skit.
I believe that's probably accurate.
Yeah.
I love it. So anything else that kind of just hits the memory? And if you were there and you're in chat, what was your favorite memory of the weekend? Or even if you're watching this on a recap later, throw it in the comments. What was your favorite memory? What was something that you were really impressed with or loved or made an impact on you, whatever that might be? Throw that in the chat. And Nat, do you have anything else that you can kind of recall? I know it's putting you on the spot, but
gosh, well, it didn't fail to impress that people there went straight into like heartfelt conversations. So on the bus trip to Peggy No's house, I sat next to a lady who works at a major distillery, and she immediately opened up about her spiritual journey and basically ministered for 45 minutes. And I was in tears on the bus on the way to the dinner. And I was like, immediate connection, like, it's beyond, the thoughts and the ego. It's just heart to heart, and that was just so impressive to me, how willing and ready people were to embrace one another. It was great. And I don't think that had to do with the bourbon. So
I will say
No.
something. I have two
Bourbon
points
involved.
Yes. I will have 2 points to that, and one is I think that people are drawn to you with that because
Agreed.
if anybody has been with Natalie or has the opportunity to hang out with Natalie for a little bit, just spending time in her presence is
You're
special.
so
You
right.
get you are very open, and it's very great to chat with.
Right.
And I think anybody in our community would do that. And I would also kind of go a little further and say the whiskey community that we've been a part of it also is similar to that. So maybe you're the nucleus of all that, but I think that most of our community definitely promotes that friendship and just being open and chatting and maybe even when you normally wouldn't. So
Well, I don't
Yeah.
think that anybody's shocked if they didn't know that Natalie was a doctor. They would quickly make a whole lot of sense
Yeah.
after talking to her for about 20 minutes. Be like, oh, right.
Yeah.
That makes a whole lot
After
of
she's
sense.
read everything in you.
She's like, yeah, I have you completely figured out now. Keep talking, though. I'm intrigued.
And I'm actually writing a thesis on you, but
Right.
Oh, Kim, you're so sweet. Yeah, I mean, well, and that's another thing. There were so many professional women there, veterinarians, MDs, lawyers, corporate executives. Kim, case in point. I mean, just really impressive women. And when I moved to Salt Lake from Mississippi, I felt like I found my people, like Troy, those are my people, I made an impression, but like, I really felt like these were my people, the ladies there were just very unique and special and a wonderful gathering,
That's awesome. I think you kind of said that at the beginning when you said Peggy came in with open arms, and your recap kind of ends with that by saying it was the experience and just how everybody cares about one another, which is so great and what the world needs.
So you met a couple people that make whiskey brand labels, which that is intriguing to me because every dude who runs a whiskey club I know wants to make stickers for single barrels.
She had never even thought of that. Yeah. So that's why I asked y'all to send me the stickers that you had on your bottles, because we just happened to be sitting on the bus going to Log Still Distillery, and we were talking about everything that she's done in her career and how she's a part of this marketing firm now that they do the marketing for Crown Royal. They design all the bottles, they do the bags and stuff. I even told her, you know what those bags are used for.
Yeah, carry your weed around.
Yeah.
I've seen them make like vests with them.
Oh.
Yeah, they sew
Well,
them
in
all
our
together.
household, they hold 20-sided dice for D&D.
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that, actually. Yeah.
So I was like, you don't have to put D&D on there, but like a 20-sided dice, that might be, anyway, unsolicited advice. That's my flaw. But but she was interested in those stickers and she thought they were really cool. So
we geeks are cool now. That's the way it is.
I know.
It's true.
Totally slightly different than it used to be. Yeah, Stranger Things changed the world.
It did help.
Went from a weed bag to a vest to Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
Multi-purpose.
It is.
Thanks, Canada.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And you can drink it if you're in a pinch.
Right, like if you have to.
Yeah,
I would mix it with some Canada Dry, but yes, you can drink it.
We used to think we were very fancy when we used to drink Crown and Coke. That was like, so we had a little extra money rolling around.
My husband
There you go.
when he heard D&D.
something for everybody.
I love it.
I was lucky. I was able to be a geek when I was younger, but I was too big to be picked on. So,
And by the way, Jason, welcome to the chat. We appreciate this. You appearing next to Natalie.
I have one set of headphones. So
that's why I have this concentrating look on my face. I'm
Right.
You're
listening
trying really hard to listen.
to y'all through the one earphone. So
Is this all a clever ploy to get Natalie to have to lean in to you the entire time? Because if so, well played, sir. Well played.
hey, I don't mind being
Doubling his date night over there for the new one.
Yeah. pregame.
Hey, I was called 25 yesterday
He was
at the concert. Somebody said I look 25, so there's that.
Well then.
Wow. Were they serving triples or doubles or what?
Was it your hairstylist?
Yeah.
This was my hairstyle.
I like that hat.
Yeah.
It's
Really
whole
sharp
lot
hat.
of rest
What
on-
is? Oh, old Carter.
No, old Carter.
Look at that.
It's good look.
Hmm.
I'll take it.
All right. So I think we're at the stage where Troy needs to
Where
drink a little more.
we're trying to
Did somebody say we're going to drink a little bit?
Yeah,
what I
Nat's
heard.
going to teach us how to drink. So
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the
this would
thought
be
is
better.
we all have some Wild Turkey 101, which is just a household. And if you don't have it in your house, you probably should. If Troy doesn't have it in his house or I don't have it in my house, it's because it's gone already.
You know the funny thing about that is all this whiskey behind us she brought back, and you all know my basement. I had to go to the store to get Wild Turkey 101 today.
And that's what I
Embarrassing.
appreciate about you.
Oh, yeah.
I did. I cheat. I'm in the Wild Turkey adjacent.
Okay, that's
All
okay.
right, all right,
Big brother.
But that's the 110, isn't it? Yeah, that's got some extra proof in that one. Oh, and he's so if you don't know about Oak and Thieves, now's a good time.
Well,
You know-
it's the Wild Turkey I had readily available.
Oh,
I
yeah.
used to
Not
have a
because I don't
million
drink
of those.
101, because I cashed it. And I'm trying not to buy a bunch of. I have so much whiskey. You guys need to come drink in Kansas. Seriously, like I have too much, and I need to share it with my friends. If I
That
drink it
goes
all myself,
for
I'm an
anybody in the
alcoholic.
chat too. If you're in Kansas,
That's right.
813 Whiskey House,
Come
come on
on.
down.
Come on.
Brick Road.
Doors open.
I don't
You
have an
might
extra
even
room
see
now.
behind the curtain.
I have an Italian exchange student in the
that's
extra room
true.
now.
That is true.
How old is
And
he?
yes, I did spend my money on Jordans, Eric. Thank you for.
Yes, those are fire too. If you follow CD Reeves on Instagram, you'll probably see what we're talking about.
Mhm.
Came back with 2 cases.
Two
Oh, I feel
cases.
your pain.
Yeah.
One of my suitcases was 70 pounds.
70 pounds. Actually,
70
69 pounds.
Hey-o.
69.
There you
Bada
go.
boom.
Troy got excited.
What was the overage for that? Was it a couple $100?
They were nice
wait a
to
minute.
me.
Close your ears. Troy,
Okay.
she flies business class, so she's allowed 75 pounds.
Oh,
Yeah, that's one of the bonuses.
Lifestyles of Rich and Famous. You know,
Yeah.
you remember that show? This woman flies with 75 pounds of liquor.
don't act like you're not impressed.
They said, "What's in there?" I'm like,
Stuff.
Whole lot of maple syrup. Whole lot of maple syrup. It's all good.
"What?"
Yeah.
That's actually if there's a secret to all the bourbon that we smuggle, that's the one. If you fly business class, you can have 2 suitcases at 75 pounds apiece. It makes it a lot easier to smuggle.
Mhm.
Yeah, no kidding.
Allegedly.
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 All right. So Wild Turkey 101. Here's what I'd like to see happen. I'd like the fellas on the stream to maybe nose it a little bit. Give a nosing note or a tasting note if they have one. And then I'd like Nat to kind of go over it for us and see what
And
she
tell
thinks.
us why we're wrong.
I'm putting Nat on the spot. This is
Say it
fun.
because I
So-
love you.
The thing I did that first day at Beaumont Inn was I went through the grocery store in my mind. I went through the fruits and the vegetables and the herbs and the nuts and the, baked goods. Anyway, and that's what helped me, think of foods and different things like that. So
So
So-
can we
Yeah, go ahead,
arrange
Corey.
that trip? Can we go to like the Kroger with some
Yeah.
I like it.
sometime?
Like,
Like if we flask it, would we be okay? Would we? I mean, worst case scenario, we get kicked out. We just don't go to the one next to our house, right? We'll be fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
just travel a
Get an
bit.
extra
And
Starbucks cup,
yeah.
Ooh, we
Mhm.
do have one with the Starbucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Oh,
really
and then the
smart.
candy
Damn it.
aisle. The candy aisle, think about the candy aisle and think about the gum at the checkout and the sodas.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cola. Is that a note? I
That
will
is a
say
note.
Jason's tasting notes are some of my favorite tasting notes in the world. And we used to do a little challenge where we'd send a bunch of samples, nose it a little bit, and he loves memories.
Jason
And
tastes with his heart, not his mouth.
the memories that he relates to whiskey are some of the funniest and best things in the world. So
I bragged about him at Bourbon Women. I used the grandma's purse in church. No, it was all the time, old leather and juicy fruit.
I think one of my favorite ones was you remember like working on a car that like oil smell.
Yeah.
This is great whiskey. It's like I smell oil on a car, and I'm a mechanic. I'm like, no, like that's hell.
Anybody that's worked in the car with their dad or their grandpa knows that smell of just must and transmission fluid and just sweet
grease.
Oh, yeah, it just
It smells like Werther's and angst.
A whole lot of
Gay.
and
words and hammers being thrown across
Right.
the room. Exactly.
And biofreeze.
this one I always get it on a lot of wild turkey, and I straight up get Cracker Jack. I smell Cracker Jack.
Caramely.
Like
Yep.
popcorn.
Caramel popcorn with the little peanuts. Yeah.
Now we all get that. Yep.
So those are the ones that kill me, right? Like when it's like such a vivid memory tasting note where then like you snap to it and you're like, all right, now I can taste nothing but
Anything
that
else. Yeah.
or smell nothing but that. Yeah, we had was it a Watkins at a whiskey syndicate meeting, and someone's like, oh, it smells like pencil shavings, like when it was when you grind it in a pencil sharpener and it's like that hot pencil shaving. And then the second they said that, I was like, well, I can't smell anything but that now.
Right.
Like that. So I didn't smell it at all before, and now that's all I've got. So
So the new barrel, the new woods.
I got in an argument with Casey over that one.
You did.
Over Whiskey Weekend Batch 3. Was it 3 or 2?
Mhm.
Whenever we went to the cigar bar, he had that special, and it was a humble brag, a 53-year-old or 1953 JW Dant out of a decanter.
Not.
And I got pencil shavings, and Casey was
Just a brag.
and he was that weekend was crazy.
Yeah.
But I could not. I mean, it was very prominent, and I'm like, I smell this, and then Clint smelled it, and then Corey's like, Casey is just dressing me down. He says, "You cannot. There's no way that's pencil shaving."
He said that's
Pencil
not a
shavings.
tasting
That's
note.
not a tasting note. Although I felt vindicated because I looked on the wine chart, the tasting note chart, and there's actually
it's probably on there, right? Yeah, sure.
it's on there. It says carbon, pencil shaving, pencil ink, or pencil lead. It's actually on the tasting chart. So,
Well, and the carbon would come from the char.
oh yeah,
on the
yeah,
barrel.
it's carbon and wood. I mean,
yeah.
anyway,
That's very uncharacteristic of Casey. He usually doesn't like to argue.
Well, if Casey didn't watch the full stream last week, please, Casey, go back and watch the stream because Troy was on fire with that. That was fun. So any notes? So far, I guess I'll start. I got mad cinnamon on the nose, just a bunch of cinnamon, which isn't something that I usually pick up from whiskey, but right now that's what I got.
I'm cheating. I'm using a different one, so my tasting notes are going to be off.
Give
But
it. Give it.
the oak and
I am
Thieves
terrible
taste
at notes.
has a vanilla note to it that's very specific, but it's like vanilla, like frosting, like fluffy butter. Yeah, like in between the layers of a cake, vanilla frosting.
I was gonna say creme brulee.
no, it's more the sugary.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
On the
Not
nose.
like vanilla bean or like vanilla or vanilla ice cream, but
Right,
like
vanilla
the
custard.
fluffy, like the fluffy buttercream icing kind of stuff, like layers of a cake. Yeah.
And,
I get
and
a
I don't
little
say
sweet too, almost like a little honey.
because
Yeah,
it's
honey.
the label. There was a small phase where I chewed tobacco when I was at the steel mill and wanted to fit in. And they
I
had
get
this
the tobacco on the finish of that.
And I don't like, I love the smell and taste of tobacco. So I actually did like that. But they had that golden blend, and it's basically the same package that's on that label.
Yep.
And I get that vanilla tobacco from that actual. So like I said,
I get that on the finish of that one, like that tobacco-y, like molasses, like Levi Garrett kind of like thick, kind of sweet tobacco stuff.
Is
So-
Oh yeah, I
Eric's
forgot that Eric's like season, smells, and color. Yeah.
Yeah, Whiskey Mutant says my first notes are always in color. Turkey 101 is always a maroon or dark red.
Would that be like plummy
Makes sense.
or black cherry, fresh
Yeah.
cherry, or jam?
Yeah, I can't even
or
pretend to
dried
understand that.
cherries, or pruny.
All this
Since-
bourbon smells.
Since
kinda-
Eric's here, I want to do. I
kinda
sent him
brown
a
or
message,
something.
but I want to do a show and tell while I have the opportunity.
Yeah.
All these beautiful, expensive bottles. And my favorite bottle that Nat brought to me, she got it at the charity auction. It's the Catoctin Creek Ragnarok Rye.
The
Has
guar
guar on it.
bottle, right?
That's cool.
And the best part is it's got
It's got a bottle.
the head of their lead singer as a bottle topper.
I'm surprised that that's the
it's
body
good.
part that they elected to put on the bottle topper, to be honest with Guar.
And it's
Are other parts impressive?
it's 6-year Catoctin Creek Rye with at 94 proof. So it's not like they just put swill in the bottle. But
Oh yeah.
unfortunately, it's never going to get open because this is my favorite
That's true.
bottle now.
So, with the Peggy No dinner was put on by Catoctin Creek, and we had their regular expressions at the table, but then on the bus going back home, going back to the hotel, the lady that owns Catoctin Creek walked up and down the bus pouring little samples of other things that she had, and one was hot honey barrels that she had put the rye in. So I used the word bougie before. It was like bougie Fireball.
Yeah.
It
So,
was like
so cinnamon, honey, rye.
cinnamon, hot sauce, and
Yeah.
honey, and really a high. I mean, like rye. Like
Like-
I think it might be all rye. Like I don't know if they blend it with anything else. I mean,
I'm gonna need this for tailgating.
Totally.
It sounds like a
Totally.
cold
That'd be
weather fall
amazing
football
for
game
a
parking lot
cocktail.
essential.
That's true.
also she had another rye that she had aged in curacao barrels.
Oh, so it's already a drink.
Yeah.
I mean, you drink that much,
Old
and you're
fashioned in a glass.
You
Yes,
have an
foolproof
explosion.
cocktail.
in your mouth. Uh-huh.
I don't know if we can have Natalie on here anymore because we're gonna get a mature rating.
Hey, I
or
want
an immature rating.
Yeah,
Hey, I was over there when she used the term deep throat, so I don't want to get blamed.
That caught me off guard.
I can't get
If I
blamed.
could high five you through the screen, I would.
yeah.
I missed
just a
the
dude.
chat question earlier. And this is a good question. What is the 813 Whiskey House?
So Kim, that's my basement. This is my basement bar. So 813 we had our first ever whiskey meeting of our whiskey club there were 8 of us on Friday the 13th. So 813 just became the time. So 813 works for this, and 813 Whiskey House is kind of like our hangout here. We start our meetings at 813, and I started calling the painting studio 813 Studio. So
By the way, that's a gorgeous painting back there.
there's a little
Yeah.
one. So it's
Is it
18
me?
by 8 as bite size.
Beautiful.
Oh, absolutely. It's got such depth.
this-
And 813 Whiskey House on YouTube has the good news, good booze.
On occasion.
And I don't care if it's relevant or not. Going back to watch some of those, definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it's
First,
worth
check
your
it out.
while. So check that out.
Yeah, thank you. I think I'm
I
going to
don't
do painting. I'm going to whiskey and paint. I think that's what I should put on there next.
Yeah.
Just free form it, man. It'll be fine, Troy. I'll just drink and get loaded in the garage and paint something. And if it's awesome, cool. And if it sucks, also maybe better. I don't know. It might be more
Yeah, just
entertaining.
paint as long as you can, and
And one of these days we might do a live stream flannel panel of Corey paint.
Great
That'd be good too.
Yeah.
We can
it'd be
have
like
it
one of those old Mystery Science Theater 3000 things where we just like comment on.
Yes. It'd be
Corey
great.
can't hear anything. He's
Okay.
just going at it. Yeah.
I met Joel at
From Mystery Science Theater?
the
At
original.
Whiskey Women? Holy shit.
No, at our Comic-Con here, which we can't call Comic-Con, so suck it, San Diego. Anyway, but yeah, I got a picture with Joel, and it was so funny. I don't know why
It's the greatest
this
picture
happens,
ever.
but I'll have to put it on Instagram. it literally looks like a high school prom photo. Like he's leaning over like this, like I'm going to get laid later. It's the goofiest ass picture. Anyway, his look on his face is really weird. Anyway, but yeah, I met him. I used to be a big fan.
So did he get laid or not?
Yeah, yes or no?
I mean, I just feel like we need closure on that story. All right.
Not to my knowledge. Corey
Oh,
thinks
it'd be
he's
like
good.
nailed it, Eric.
Oh, shit.
Like a paint night, like whiskey and art paint
Although,
night.
what if we also have Nat on trying to decode what Corey's painting?
Art
Oh,
interpretation.
that'd be
Yeah.
good, but bad. at
That's
the
for
same time.
that's for Patreon only.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say my tasting notes are my art impressions are similar to my tasting notes because I see that one, and I don't know if it's subliminal, but I see Boomtown. I see the word Boomtown
I see boom.
in that list,
I
Oh,
and then
from
I
the-
see a sky.
Uh-huh.
I see a skyline with lightning, and it feels like Boomtown. Yeah,
I
it's cool.
see chiclets.
So that was my first experiment in speed painting. I painted that in 15 minutes
Yeah,
No
I
way.
see boom and I see
just
lightning.
to see if I could.
Gosh,
And you can
I
No, I
love the
can't.
layers and the
keep it
depth.
up.
Yeah,
That's
I don't know if I
great.
can repeat it, but the one time.
I love it. All right, back to the 101. Nat, what do you
Yep.
get? Can you break this one down for us?
Pecan pie. A clove studded orange at Christmas.
Goodness.
Honeycomb, like the kind that you make with baking soda and it foams up.
The honeycomb candy.
Honeycomb
Seafoam
candy.
candy.
Oh yeah, that makes me feel better. I said honey. I think I get partial.
Yes.
Like,
And
yes.
Oh,
I didn't say anything about cloves or oranges, but
or
I
anything
get that.
studded.
I get so wild turkey's high rye, right?
Mhm.
Higher
Yeah.
rye anyway, and that orange and clove I get a lot with a rye or rye-ish whiskeys.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of herbs. I don't. There's not a lot of green in this. It's all kind of brown notes and
Oh boy.
what does that mean?
Well, Eric did say it's kind of dark, maroon and dark red. I don't know.
That's a discussion. Boy.
Yeah.
Just Google it after the show's over, Nat. That's the only safe.
I don't look up what's that dictionary.
You know what?
Urban
Actually,
doesn't
probably
have-
don't Google brown note. Don't
No.
actually no. Probably no.
Yeah.
Please don't.
Yeah. I'm not getting a lot of floral.
Mhm. I agree. Might
It's
be why I
maybe-
like it so much.
It and sweet candy and Christmas spice.
And love.
I think Troy's in love with Wild Turkey 101.
well, yeah, we've been flirting for years.
In case
So,
it's
Ian, are you,
hardcore making out on a Wednesday?
Mhm.
Are you a Four Roses fan, Ian, or is that not your favorite?
Yeah. Yes.
You
It's
are?
one of my favorites, I think. Yeah.
'Cause I always think of that as floral, and
Same.
it's
So
never been quite my
I don't.
jam.
I don't get. I don't get really floral notes on it. I think I get more rye in it than the floral.
Okay.
But I think you're right.
Yeah,
There
it's
is a
high.
bit of fruit. I don't like cognac or any of that stuff because of the high fruit like taste in it. Whereas I like grainy whiskeys. I guess I think I've realized that in the last little while.
I like some fruity.
Do you? Well. Oh yeah, you should clap there for sure. Yeah,
So
This has a good.
I'm kind of with Troy. I always think that Four Roses is a little bit
I'm-
more
Yeah,
floral
it's-
forward. Has like, especially on like when you smell it, like it always to me is a lot. Like
What
Wild
kind?
Turkey's wonderful because it's fighting whiskey. Like it's just bourbon.
Exactly.
Capital B bourbon.
Mhm.
But it's
yeah.
got the
It's like
aroma
crack-
up front. It's got a good mid palate. It's got a good
Yeah.
finish.
You know what? So to go on that, I in a blind lean to like Four Roses or like that fruitier whiskey because I think it's more complex.
Yeah.
In a blind where I'm actually like really going at the whiskey and really, trying to figure it out. I like that. But then when I pour a glass, I'm like, let's go with the capital B bourbon. I think that's what I am.
Like your brain wants you to think, oh, there's more going on here.
Exactly.
This has to be better.
And that's a good point.
I think that's it. Yeah.
So I've realized that my brain and my mouth get excited about different things. Like, so anyway, at the last whiskey weekend, there was that bottle that had been finished in, it was like mahogany barrels. It was a coffee, cigar blend. It was a cigar.
Oh, yeah.
It was that Brazilian something. And
is that one of the ones Dave brought or something that you gave Dixon a try, right?
Right. So I smelled it and I was like, ding, 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 ding. My brain was just like pinging.
Yeah.
I was like, I have never smelled this before. And I was just so excited. I tasted it. I was like, oh, I've never tasted this before. And I was just so excited. And then 10 minutes go by and I haven't had another sip and I smell something. I'm like, God, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's in my glass. And I'm like, Jesus. And I'm like, ugh. And then I take it over to Dixon. I'm like, you tried this? He said, you like this? I'm like, eh? And he said, it tastes like banana boat sun lotion.
That's right. I remember, and he
seemed a little irritated.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he was irritated. I think that was late in the night.
Palate, so. Yeah. But I had
Well, sometimes the new thing is like that will spike a little bit of interest. Like, oh, well, this is different.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the, so I catch that every once in a while with like some of the craft stuff where they're getting all kind of like crazy on trying to be like, well, it's double barreled or it's put in this or it's anything that they can do to overcome the young graininess of the whiskey. And then you're like, when you smell it, you're like, whoa, this is totally different. And then it doesn't always quite ring up. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, especially on the second sip. So it's, you're like, oh, this is all new. And then,
So my bottle of the year so far anyway, because we do a fun thing at the end of the year that I'm trying to prep for, is a very like fruit forward, like 90 proof. So it's lower proof, which I normally lean high proof, fruit forward, very complex, unique, finished in PX sherry casks, like very fruit forward and stuff. And I just loved it. So I say that, but I think I lean to that complexity, and maybe it's my brain going, oh, there's so much here, and I think that means it's a better whiskey. Yeah. But sometimes, that rocks glass full of wild turkey is my friend. So
I was going to say one thing that I learned more about at this Bourbon Women was the difference in toasting and char. Mm-hmm. So that, think of a reverse sear on a steak. Like you put a steak out in a smoker to get that smoky line in the meat, and then you bring it in and you quickly char it on both sides. That's basically what they're doing when they're toasting a barrel. So it's low and slow to penetrate the wood and to get the smoke line.
Although penetrate the wood sounds terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's aggressive in a like a reverse situation.
Yeah.
Painful.
And undesirable. But anyway, but you get a smoke line in the wood.
Yeah.
And then they do the char, but that brings a totally different flavor, and it helps to neutralize the negative notes that might have come out of the new wood barrel.
Okay, there you go. So
it runs.
But some of the oaky barrel stuff is like when you. So I think that sometimes whiskey gets a little bit of that oak note that turns sour at the end, and that's what they're trying to eliminate, right? Where you're getting all the sweetness and all the flavor, and you don't get that weird tannin note occasionally at the end where you're like, it's great, and then at the end you're like, ugh. It just
the bitterness, bitterness, yeah.
It's like a tea bag.
Well,
yeah, that's exactly right. Like the people that make the mistake of like, instead of take the tea bag out, ayo, you squeeze the tea bag, ayo, and then all the bitterness goes in the tea.
It don't taste good.
I think kind of sound effect with that spring.
Well, we did Wild Turkey 101, and I wanted to throw this one out there. If you guys have a Kentucky Owl product, because Nat has a special relationship with the older Kentucky Owl products and Dixon Dedman because of a special whiskey weekend. That was batch 1, I believe, right? Whiskey weekend batch 1 experience she had. So what happened that day? And this was for what was the like? What was the whiskeys that you were kind of checking out?
So I still so Dixon saved the notes that I wrote that day.
Yeah. And they were for what though? Do you remember?
Okay, well, I remember the one that
It was batch 3 and confiscated is what you did.
right. So we were doing a tasting,
Yeah.
and the lots of people were at the table, and we were out calling out our notes, and I gave notes on Stagg Jr. Or was it George T. Stagg? Maybe George T. Stagg, of plum, blackberry, and dark chocolate. And Dixon was impressed with that, and he said, I need to talk to you later. Stoley is wanting me to turn in tasting notes today for my batch 3 rye and confiscated, and I would like to get your notes on that. So we did, and later that day we sat down and wrote our own notes, and I got a floral note of gardenia, and we exchanged notes, and he showed me his notes, and he had gotten the same gardenia note. And I was like, mind blown. So yeah, he just boosted my confidence so much that day.
Sure.
Well,
and as a woman, I think I was the only woman in the room. Maybe Melissa was there, Shriver, but.
Speaking of which, happy birthday, Melissa. If you
Melissa, happy birthday.
Yeah.
That was actually going to be my just the tip. Not Melissa, but Melissa May.
Yeah, that got weird real fast.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
Happy
birthday.
Watching that go through that, it was more than just the notes. Because everybody in here that's been to a tasting, most of us approach a tasting like Sherlock Holmes. We want to get the proof right. We want to get the year right. We want to get the brand. We want to guess what's in our bottle or in our glass. And Nat, us coming from a wine background, and Nat was brand new to whiskey, period. She approached it experientially like you would a wine. So Nat is living in the whiskey and just being, rolling off these beautiful notes that we're skipping because we're trying to guess everything. And I think that's what set me like.
Yeah,
that was
no
obviously,
right answer.
Yeah, there's no right answer, but I'm just saying, just the way she does things and how you stay mindful and just enjoy the moment for what it is instead of,
Thanks, honey.
And I think that's what impressed me the most. And I think that's the key to this. If there's a lesson, it's like, it's good to be right, but sometimes it's fun just to be in the moment,
So I've had some of my best tasting notes ever right beside Nat at Whiskey Weekend Batch 2. And the only thing on the paper was effing good.
Yeah.
And you're not wrong. That's
yeah. Because
it
was good.
On that Dixon story, which actually was kind of gets forgotten. But after that, we were all in the euphoria of it. Liz Henry of J. Henry Distillers, the queen pin of J. Henry Distillers, comes up to her and talks to her about tasting. She says, that was very impressive. Why don't you come over here and try that with my whiskeys? So Liz took her over to the other table and they sat down and did the exact same things. And she started talking about, she literally looked at Nat and says, if you're good at this, there's quite the career to be had. And they sat down and tasted it, and the same thing. Nat wrote down her tasting notes, and side by side, she matched what was on the back of the bottle without looking. So it's very impressive.
I like to taste things.
I think that was the start of the Natalie, wasn't it? I think that's the
right.
nose of the Natalie. So if you have a Kentucky Owl product and you're at home and maybe throw a little pour in there, because I have batch 1. It's the only one I have. This is a special bottle and it's just about done.
Oh, you just got the tail end left.
I do. I've recently poured it for a bunch of good friends, and this was a good bottle. But I think it's kind of cool because of the Dixon element too, right?
Yeah, and here's the
Owl.
thing: the good versions of these are getting very hard to find.
Yeah,
And the brand new, not good versions of these are widely available on the shelves at every liquor store you walk into right now.
yeah, and just a cool brand like Dixon Deadman. This is all about him, like the wise man's rye. I love it. And Nat has a special connection to batch 3 specifically, which is amazing. So, let's let the flannel fellas, or whatever we're going to be called. What was it? The Poor Boys? I think it was the Poor Boys.
I want to put my vote in for Flannel Force 5.
Flannel Force 5.
Comic book.
All right.
Not bad. One of my friends said, "Dads being dudes."
Dad's
like
being
that.
dudes.
That's true.
That's true.
It's like it's just a bunch of dads being dudes. I was like, I think that's where we peak at this show.
pretty much it. Pretty much it. Oh, and Eric is 100% true. Hold my originals closer, a little closer every time I see him. And he's talking about Kentucky Owl, the Dixon blends and whatnot. Because they are some of the best whiskey, and I say that because of the connection we have. Like Corey, I had a really cool experience with Corey. The first time I met Corey and Jason was at Southern Whiskey Society 2019, and Corey walks up to Dixon, and they were in Blazers together. I think Blazers and Jordans.
Blazers, jeans, and Jordans.
That's
it was like kind of fluky.
And like Dixon pulls him aside and just like takes over and does his thing and just makes the dude feel like Corey felt like he was
he asked if I'd had
royalty.
Kentucky Owl before. I was like, no, it's not. At that time, it wasn't distributed in Kansas. It's like it doesn't exist in Kansas. He's like, oh well, step over here. Grabs a Glencairn in my hand and pours one almost all the way full to the top. He's like, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So nice.
So it was very cool.
Yeah. So that dude's definitely influenced. And like, whether it's 12 days or whiskey weekends or whatever that looks like, he's stepped up and really been an impactful part on our community.
Yeah, the epitome of a Southern gentleman.
Oh yeah,
exactly.
He did the same thing for us. Whiskey Weekend Batch 2. It's the first time we ever were able to try Pappy 23.
That's right.
That was an awesome story because they were having toast, and Jennifer Campbell, bless her heart, walked up and asked Dixon, "Hey, how much would you sell us that bottle for? We got a corner over here that's never tried Pappy 23." And he just gives her the bottle. He says, "Enjoy." And so we went back and we poured it. And
I forgot. I've tried Pappy 23. I have no recollection of it, but I have tried. I have tried it because of that. I was there.
As the only exposure to Pappy, almost a jump clap, was through friends. Dixon giving us that bottle, and Whiskey Weekend Batch 1. Casey bought his Pappy 20 at the table, brought us around simply because we'd never tried it, and he wanted us to try it.
And Whiskey Weekend Batch 4.
And 4, yeah.
With Nate.
With Nate.
Yeah.
It's very special.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we had Pappy. That was 15?
Was that 20?
That was 20.
20. Pappy 20 there.
And I guarantee you that if there's ever a chance where one of those bottles comes in my possession, I will carry that on.
That Whiskey Weekend Batch 4 pour in the like elevator room or whatever it was,
or somebody's trip to Ohio. Well, we'll figure something out.
Yeah, was a highlight for me. Just the people around and how good that was. Like I don't have much experience with Pappy in general, but that one with those people in that room was one of the best pours I've had. So yeah, very cool. Well, what do you get on the Kentucky Owl?
Floral note, definitely.
Yeah.
What about y'all? What, Troy? Where are you?
See, I don't get notes very much or very well, but there's something in my brain that I'll smell something like this and something just clicks and I just get super happy, and then things usually get out. Well, that's it's like I just here it is 10:30. I just flip the trigger and I can't really But yeah,
I'm
it
not
just
sure what
makes
he's
me
talking
happy.
about here.
It means that it
Like,
smells really great, and now he's like happy about it because he smelled it before.
And
He's got himself in the mental
keep-
space where he's drank it before
Yeah.
with his friends, and he's
I
ready
keep
to
the
party.
camera above the waist. Yeah, is
I
what you're
just
saying.
triggered myself. I'm ready
Yeah.
to drink and
Troy's got a nose boner
bedtime.
right now.
Oh Lordy, that sounds
Kim,
uncomfortable.
thank you for hanging out with us. This
Thank
was fun. And thanks for looking
Thanks
after
for
Nat.
keeping an eye on her and keeping her
Yeah.
safe or encouraging her, one or the other. So
All of the above, maybe.
Yeah.
That's great. So Troy's just got a nose explosion going on there.
Yep.
So
What do you got,
Kentucky
Corey?
Owl, to me, always tastes like if a flower shop and a bakery were like right next to each other on the block, and you like
Totally.
sat outside to eat the cake but could smell the flowers. Like that's what Kentucky Owl smells like. Like it's got all of that.
Like maybe like royal icing, like a lemony, sugary sweetness. Also,
Like I get sweet, but then
lavender
I
and honeysuckle.
yeah, and I definitely get like the flower shop kind of
Mhm.
like that floral kind of cut. So it's
The
always
no- yeah.
bright, super bright.
The nose is great, but the palate and finish
Woo!
is
good.
just incredible.
The angels are singing.
Yeah.
see, and I like rye, especially when it gets older like this. I can always tell for me because it goes the sweetness goes to like straight sugar or cotton candy, like sugar cubes, like in your tea and stuff. So I get that, and I
Like
I
brown
love it.
sugar.
no white sugar cubes in your like.
Mhm.
It goes
That's
away
pretty
from the Yeah.
Cinnamon, kind of like peppery, kind of on the finish. It's always sweet to start, and then it's it's just real good, and it just sticks around. The Kentucky Owl just sticks around forever.
That like
So
spearmint
good.
note on the finish.
Yeah. Like a funky
gum?
spearmint. Yeah. And not just like, yeah, it's got some like, it's like an edgy spearmint. It's not just like a straight, whatever that means.
Lemon pound cake and marshmallow. Totally.
I get that.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
I think that's what he's pairing with it.
Oh, right. That's what
No,
he's done.
okay.
You know,
We
like-
got to do another pairing one with Eric. That was fun.
No
Oh,
matter
those
how
are my
expensive
favorites.
it is,
There's
it
food.
is
Yeah.
not very good when
Yeah.
you get it in your eye.
I think I wasn't on when Eric was on. I don't
No,
think.
you weren't.
Which is disappointing. I
And
just
you and
watched
Eric
the
are
video.
kindred spirits. So we need to do this again.
Yeah, we showed up on that
Definitely
Wiki
know.
weekend like dressed the same. It was kind of almost embarrassing. So it was
Embarrassing. It's like Step Brothers.
Yeah.
It might have been the
Fantastic.
shirt you have on now.
Come with friends.
Yep.
Yeah,
Do not touch my drum set.
Welcome. It's okay if mine's not movie quality.
that's right. I'll put my nuts on your
Natalie,
tongue.
the wine mixer.
Yeah. So Nat, any other fun notes on the Kentucky Owl that you got?
Gosh.
What a delicious whiskey it is, though.
Like almost like a brandy, like bread pudding with brandy sauce.
I'd eat that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of bread
Ooh.
pudding,
Yeah.
if you're ever at the Bourbon Inn,
Thanks, Corey.
I'd eat
You're welcome.
that. Really?
It's just really sticky. Like I don't.
Yeah.
The mouthfeel. And so Dixon, the way he says he's not great with tasting notes. And I think we've all been there when he said that. But what he loves is the way it affects him, I think, the most.
Yes.
And that's kind of what I've got it. So the mouthfeel, the viscosity, how it handles
That's why
you
he's such a
kind of
good
thing.
blender.
Yeah, and I find that all of his whiskeys that I've tried have been top notch for that, because I agree with that. Like that's that bourbon with the B, right?
Yeah.
The capital B. It's just something that's gonna make you
So,
feel good.
This is
And,
gonna
and I
sound
think
weird.
Troy's feeling good right now.
And not in
I'm
a
doing all right.
a nose boner kind of way, but so like really good whiskey, like I might not always be able to nail like really intricate tasting notes, but I can tell that like my body reacts different to it. Like you can feel
Yeah.
it, like your whole body's like, oh, this is different than what we've been drinking,
Hello, yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
it's just like because
Yeah.
all your senses, I think, just kind of light up when it's a better, more complex pour. So you might not be able to explain it, but you can feel it, like it.
What's that? What are the actors that are in that movie Wedding Crashers?
Owen Wilson.
Owen Wilson and
So I-
Luke
Vince
Luke
Vaughn.
Wilson.
And
Oh, Owen.
Oh, was
Bradley Cooper's in there. And
Yeah.
Vince
Oh.
Vaughn.
Vince Vaughn.
Owen Wilson. When you say nose boner, I think Owen Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry.
The whiskey was good.
I don't know how to think about it.
Loki. Yeah. Well, that's great. Kentucky Owl is one of my all-time favorites. And caveat, Dixon's Kentucky Owl.
10 and under for the bourbon.
Yeah, and any ryes because they haven't really done anything else. But any of the ryes, like I'm a rye guy, and I love that, especially come the fall. It's the best. So get you some if you can. We have a Staves and Grain, but I think we're running out of time. So
Gotta be coherent in the morning.
props to the podcast and Casey Bright for picking Shark Repellent, which we were
That's
going to do
good.
next. Another solid rye. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Speaking
And-
of solid picks with a rye, you can't leave
Troy.
the
Yeah,
video without Troy holding up that bottle.
we're not,
Oh yeah,
we're not ending it yet. Here, I'm gonna solo layout you.
Oh, yeah. So I've been teasing this thing for 2 months, but so we got the whiskey
New room.
Friday,
This is
and
exciting.
then just today, the labels have
so
arrived.
Oh man,
We are full, all systems go for Maverick is now in stock. And I got to tell you, we just got this Friday and we've already drank 2 bottles. So that's not going to
Yeah,
last
baby.
long.
Yeah,
That's
man.
awesome.
2 dead soldiers.
That makes me so happy. Yes.
I love it. Yeah.
So, yeah,
and if-
Corey did a excellent job on this label.
It's
I don't
gorgeous.
know,
Yes.
but yeah.
that's awesome.
That was fun. Troy's like, "Hey, it's a new riff pick. Can you make a sticker?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I can." And I started coming up with stuff, and I think I went through a couple. I had one that was like Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
That was that, and that actually I thought was pretty cool. And then I was like, it's not quite right. And then that Maverick movie had kind of come out this summer, and I was like, oh, Maverick. And I was like, let's make sure we're the first ones to do a new riff pick with that sticker. So claim that. That's tater bait, baby. Like you might as well throw a half a unicorn and glitter on the top of that thing because it's gonna be a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Or,
I just thought of something that's got to sell every
Little
bottle.
replica flight helmets.
yeah, flight helmet on top. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's great. Thanks for
Next
hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Our last little
Drive on your way
segment
out.
here.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah. And for sure the pick is killer. Like I know that the folks that went to taste and try, and Troy and Dave and Eric and the whole crew, and I'm sure that it's just going to be crushing whiskey too.
I just got to figure out how to get it up north.
I've got to deliver this thing all around the country, so I've got a lot of road trips to plan. I'm actually meeting Eric this weekend.
Are you?
I think Saturday we're meeting somewhere outside
Work
of
for the
Pittsburgh.
cartel. We
Just
can-
you
work
just pencil in 4th of July in Kansas, and we'll just.
Totally.
It's been
long time to
discussed,
hold
yeah.
on-
Get
Yeah,
out
I
there.
think.
time to hold on to
I
booze.
think that could be
Yeah, we'll have to talk about that offline because I don't want to make you wait till July.
Listen, it's not as far away as you think.
All right, we have Nat on here, and I really want to get to just the tip.
Oh yes.
Okay. So I'm not sure if anybody's got one, but do you have a just the tip for this evening?
When in doubt, travel.
Okay.
Buy the tickets. Go to the thing. Spend the money.
Put in the tip.
They print money every day, but if you bypass an experience, you don't get that chance again.
So that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's huge for all of us. But even you going to that weekend, normally Jason's with you, and I think that was a big thing for you to go and enjoy solo, right?
Like
So
the day
yeah.
before I got on the plane, I'm like, I'm about to go by myself to Kentucky to meet a whole group of people I've never met before and drink. And I don't know. I mean, but put one foot in front of the other and you find out there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that's awesome. And just do it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
I like that.
That's awesome.
Anybody else with just
Try
the
to
tip?
top that.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I can. All right, and stay buttoned up. No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
that'd be good. Yeah. So, like all the good stuff in life comes with when you put yourself out there a little bit, right? Like, I don't think any of us know each other if we don't risk it a little bit, stuff like that, which is pretty cool. So, yeah, I'm with it, Nat. So, if I had 2 tips, one, if you get a chance to be friends with Natalie, you should.
Amen.
And 2, if you like any kind of European football, you got to be watching Welcome to Wrexham on FX.
Okay.
So,
Is that
Ryan
Ryan
Reynolds
thing? Yeah.
bought
Okay.
a European
Yeah.
soccer team during COVID. It's a team in
Right.
Wales, and they openly say he bought it with another American. He bought it with an American actor, so he's like a Canadian and an American who bought.
Yeah, Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah, so they bought a team in Wales. They bought a Welsh European football team, and then have to try to figure out just how the whole world works with that. It's really fantastic. They're like 4 episodes in now, and it's so good. Like, that dude is the most like humble bazillionaire actor ever, right? Like, so he's like, I think all dudes wish they were Ryan Reynolds, and all the ladies I know wish that their husbands were Ryan Reynolds. So, but it's a
Yeah.
really good show. The soccer's good, the comedy's good, the people are good. It's fantastic. So,
What's that, Nat?
I said, I'll take Blake Lively. I wouldn't kick her out.
No idea what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Allegedly.
Yes.
I will second that because I'm not even a fan of
Football.
European football, but it was night shifts. I had to watch something, and so I threw it up and watched it, and it's very compelling. I mean, I actually became I had the introductions of becoming a European football fan from this show.
Oh, I give it over. If you've been watching it, I give you an over 90% chance that Janu buys Wrexham gear within the
I'm
next
cheering them on already.
It's already ordered. Yeah, he was bored last night. Yeah, at the
I love
at
it.
work.
I love it.
So
Yeah.
that's on FX and Ryan
FX and
Reynolds.
Hulu. You can watch it on
Yeah.
Hulu.
I don't know. Yeah.
I'll give you
Troy?
the password, Ian. Just text me offline.
Thanks. Yeah. Troy, what do you got?
Unfortunately, I don't really have anything. I was just wanting to talk about the new riff, and college football is upon us. I'm excited about that. If you were looking for a team to root for, I mean, the Ohio State Buckeyes look like they're going to pretty much dominate everything this year, so I recommend jumping on that. I think everybody's a fan down deep, whether they can admit it or not. So
It's better after
Hop
Urban
on.
left. I'm more for them now than before.
oh yeah. Poor Urban.
Well,
Nope. So, do you start this weekend?
Yeah, we
Like-
play Notre Dame Saturday night.
Ooh, yeah. The whole world will be watching that.
Yeah,
Yikes. That's awesome.
so I'm excited.
Is that game there? Is it at Ohio State or is it at?
It's at Ohio State. Yep,
Are
8
you-
o'clock, I think.
Will you go to that kind
Oh
of thing?
no.
Like, is it
No, I
going to
won't.
take something like $1 million?
Yeah, I've not been to a game in 5 years, but I'll for sure watch.
Well, it's cheaper if you want to just come to Kansas. We can watch it on television here.
Okay,
That might be cheaper.
and bring 5 or 6 cases of whiskey with you.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
well, I'll grab the low-hanging fruit here and say just a tip was the new House of the Dragon, the new Game of Thrones.
Okay.
It's Game of Thrones. I mean, it's just as enthralling, and yeah, it's everything. There's only 2 episodes out, and it's good.
And there's
Could
various-
you watch it without
Oh,
being?
It's Game of Thrones. It's all of it.
Yeah.
It's got the 4 stars: violence, sex, blood, and gore.
Could you start fresh, or would you have to have watched Game of Thrones?
No, because this is an independent thing, so you can just start from here. Because this is actually 700 years before Game of Thrones.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's an
700?
independent thing. Yeah. What's that?
700 years?
Exactly.
Or maybe 150.
Like, in the history books.
It was
it's
2 a.m, but it's quite I can't remember. It was maybe it's 150.
He's jerking your chain.
It's a lot of years.
That's a lot of years.
But anyway,
Somebody's father's father, you know.
Someone
And it's
begat,
all about
who begat, who
all
begat, who
about
begat.
the.
I'm looking forward to the Lord of the Rings series.
That comes out tonight, doesn't it? Or this?
I'm not sure.
This Friday, maybe.
I don't have enough to really give a tip, but whatever.
I'm gonna go with the.
Nat's
I don't
tip
know
is
the name. Go ahead.
Children's British Baking Show. Every time I go in the room, she's watching Children's British Bake Off.
It's really funny. They drop the food on the floor constantly.
Oh, and they pick it
just
back up and put it on the plate.
even with icing on it.
It's
And the
awesome.
people still eat it. It's like 5-minute rule. I mean, 5 seconds. Anyway. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead. Ian.
No, good. So the Wake Stock 99 on Netflix. You guys seen that? Or Burn Stock or whatever it is. I forget the
Woodstock?
title.
Oh,
It's
about
about
Woodstock.
Woodstock from '99, and they did
Oh.
a documentary.
Is that the one
It's-
where Limp Bizkit played and they like set everything on fire?
Yeah,
It's
there's a
true.
documentary on Netflix about that,
Cool.
and it's actually really good. It's a
Is it?
4-episode thing. You can deal with it in a night. It's worth a watch. And Nat, I think you'd probably love it. Like the way they kind of walk through like the mental state of people during that whole
Yeah, it is
event.
a full
Yeah.
aggro shit show.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. And just the like no social media at the time, the way the world was
Right,
compared to
right.
now. Like it's a really cool look back anyway. So
Yeah.
check that out. It's a lot of fun.
Well, it's a success. When you try to recreate something that was great in the past, very rarely, if
Like,
ever,
this whole thing is
will it
crazy.
ever meet expectations.
It was
you know?
it was too many people and not enough water and not enough food and like
Yeah.
and angry music. Like it was a
Oh,
lot-
you got to watch it.
All
Like
all the
Limp-
triggers, man.
Limp
the
Bizkit
fries.
is a key part to that whole thing.
All the triggers.
And yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a cool little documentary. So if you got some time, check that out. It's definitely worth your while, in my opinion. Especially Corey. I think Corey would love it. It's probably right up your alley.
Yeah.
But that is just the tips for tonight. Nat, we all know where you can find us. Flannel Panel streams at CD Reeves, at the World in My Glass, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Whiskey
But where
Psyche.
can we find you, Nat?
Whiskey Psyche on Instagram.
There it is. And check it out. She's posted a bunch of recent pictures from her trip. They look great. And so check that out. Follow her and her future endeavors, whatever they be, because I'm sure they're going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
glad all those people got to meet you. I'm not glad that
Yeah.
you got to. I mean, I'm glad that you got to meet them. I'm glad all those people got to meet you.
You're
We already
so
knew how cool you were. I'm
You're
glad
making
they
me
know how
cry.
cool you are now.
Exactly.
Thank you, Corey.
Exactly. Well, and until next week, what is it?
Stay buttoned up, fam.
Stay buttoned up.
Stay
baby.
buttoned up. Let's do it. See y'all.
Bye.
Oh, I didn't end broadcast. I